Wasted another glass in pina colada Burke. Coconut milk with a pineapple splash. Don't forget that the rum comes third. Passed out flat on my ass in pina colada Burke. Bloodshot eyes and a swerve mustache. Mouth tastes like pinata turd.
Let's do it. Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and Giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things Giallo, here on The King and Giallo, and let's do another unscripted talking head movie review. I'm going to be talking about the movie that I covered on the channel for April Fool's Day, which I was not able to upload on YouTube because of copyrights, because this movie, I found out, is owned by Disney now, and that is Broken Lizard's Club Dread. This is this is one of my favorite movies, not like top 10, top 50 movies, but I saw this movie when I was like 11 or 12, which I think was probably the perfect age to see this movie. This is a comedy slasher whodunit murder mystery, and it is, for me, it is so funny. Broken Lizard is the comedy troupe that did Super Troopers, then they did Club Dread, then they did Beer Fest, and then they did a bunch of terrible movies. After that, it was like Slammin' Salmon, which was not great. It was basically like a less funny version of Waiting. There was Super Troopers 2, which I did not see. I don't think I did. And then I think they did Super Troopers 3, which I also did not see. And then they did a movie recently, I think called Quasimodo or something like that. Oh, called Quasi. 2023 movie called Quasi. Yeah, that was another one. I think I watched that on streaming a couple years ago, and I think I maybe laughed once or twice in the entire movie. It was painfully not funny. But I do love, I really do still like Broken Lizard. I really like Beer Fest and Club Dread. I'll say that. Super Troopers, not really one of my favorite movies. The first 10 minutes of the movie are hysterical though. But this movie. So my April Fool's video was, this is the greatest Giallo film ever made. I have never talked about what my favorite Giallo film is, although I've been pretty, I'll tell you the ones that are generally the great ones, the ones that I really, really like, although I just have never done an official top Giallo film list. Look at this, bird with crystal plumage. No, that is not my favorite Giallo film, but anyways, so I made this video and I talk about Club Dread. I say Club Dread is a Giallo. It is the greatest Giallo ever made, and I'm actually kind of glad maybe that video didn't go out on YouTube, because I don't know how many people would have been able to understand that it was a joke. I kind of assumed that video would probably get hit with a fair amount of downvotes, but you know, it is what it is. But anyways, so this movie, Club Dread, it takes place on this resort that is operated, it's owned and operated by this guy called Coconut Pete, who is a washed up musician from like the 70s. He's basically Jimmy Buffett, I think he's supposed to be. And he's played by Bill Paxton. And it's just this amazing performance. It's so great. Like when I was a kid, I loved Twister. And it took me a long time before someone was like, that's Bill Paxton. And I was like, I don't know who that is. They're like, that's the guy from Twister. And I'm like, wait, that's the same guy? Of course, this was like maybe 10 or so years ago that I found that out, but now it's just so amazing to me. Like, yeah, that is Bill Paxton. That is incredible. But so it takes place on this resort island, and staff members start getting killed off by someone who is wearing an outfit with a mask. You don't know who it is. It's so funny because it's a little Giallo in that regard, but much like Scream, just because it's a whodunit slasher with someone who's disguising their entire body with black gloves doesn't mean it's a Giallo. I mean, you know, just because you can hide your identity and it's a whodunit, there's more to it than that. But still, I'm not gonna go there today. But anyways, so the staff, you meet them. There's a new guy who comes on his name is Lars. He's gonna be the new masseuse, the new masseur. I think masseur would be the male word, doesn't really matter, but he's coming on to replace someone, and it's just for the final week of the, you know, festivities. They bring in a new boat full of guests. You meet Juan Castillo, who is the dive master. because I guess they need to watch someone doing cliff diving. You have Jenny, who's the aerobics instructor, because there's a lot of activities for the guests. You meet Puttman, who is the tennis instructor, who is played by Chandrasekhar, who is the director. And you meet Dan, who is the DJ and the drug dealer, I'm assuming. And then you meet Sam, who's the fun police, whose job it is to be like, hey, what are you doing? You need to have some fun. Here's some alcohol. Hey, come on, you guys go hook up. The movie starts with people getting killed, and then it does the in medias res thing where it's like earlier that day, which in a horror movie, I hate that. In this movie, it actually works because I don't think I talked about this in my video, which I meant to. In this film, it actually works because we're now on high alert. Like, okay, so they killed this person clearly because they had a vendetta against him, this guy Rollo, and these other girls. And so we're like, okay, so let's keep an eye out. Immediately, he goes up to the fun police guy and he goes, hey, nice hat, pussy. And the guy's like, hey, do you have that bag of grass I asked for? And he's like, oh, sorry, you know how it is, but let me know when you score some. And then it's like, it just shows Sam and he's just like, and it's like Stinger, it's like, and slow motion. And so immediately you're like, okay, so I guess he's the killer. And then you see him be an asshole to Puttman. And he, like, one of the girls who gets killed is flirting with Puttman, and he comes up and he's like, yeah, you're an F-cake, Puttman. And you just tell me what a loser this guy is. And then Puttman's like, same thing with Stinger. And then one of the other girls, she asks, did I say Dan? I meant to say Dave. She asks Dave for ecstasy for their like drinks, and he throws them in, and then she's like, leaves, and he's like, hey, come on, at least give me one of those margaritas. And she's like, sorry, they're so spoken for, and leaves. And he's just like, it's kind of setting up that any of these people could have killed them, even though they're not the best motives. It's just, we get it that this guy and these girls were kind of assholes. But yeah, so we meet Lars, he meets all the people, and then one of the guests is this mysterious little blonde girl. You don't really know you don't really understand what's her thing. Her name is Penelope, but Jenny sees her. She's like, you look familiar. And she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm from Nome, Alaska. Yeah. And she's like, oh, okay, well, you must just have one of those faces. And so now you're a little suspicious of this girl, because you're like, why is she trying to hide her identity? Or why is she trying to, why is she so secretive? And, well, more staff members start getting killed, mostly like non-characters. So this guy Carlos gets killed. Another guy called Cliff, who never existed in the movie up until the scene he gets killed. And the staff finds out that whoever is they're only killing, this killer's only targeting the staff. And a little bit earlier, we got this legend of Machete Phil. There's this guy who, used to be a staff member here, and he went to go out with this girl into the, hook up with this girl in the cemetery, and then there was a flash of lightning, and he found out, when he's like having sex, he all of a sudden sees that all the guys from the resort are standing around watching him, and he's having sex with a dead body, and they're all laughing at him, and he runs off, and then he finds Machete, and he goes and he kills them all, and then he cuts his member off and runs off into the jungle screaming. And they're like, what? You're telling me there's a deranged dickless guy out there? So a lot of people are like, it's Machete Phil. And they're like, no, that's just a bullshit story for the guests. It's not real. But yeah, somebody is killing them. At one point in a deleted scene, because this is the unrated version, which adds 20 minutes back into the movie. 20 minutes! These policemen from Costa Rica show up because one of the bodies in the first scene washed ashore. And they're going to take care of it. And they let them know that the killer is a staff member, because they found like a shark tooth necklace on one of the bodies, and all of the staff have shark tooth necklaces. And then those guys die. And so they're on their own trying to solve this mystery. That's basically it in a nutshell. Like I said, I actually don't want to spoil this one. You should check it out. It's kind of hard to find because it's just a DVD. This is one of those movies that I really wish they would make a Blu-ray for this, because I want to own it. But it's really, it's just DVDs. I paid, I think, $24 for this movie, so they're not making more of these, you know. It's going. You can find it online. You can stream. You can look up Club Dread 2004 stream or full movie or something. You will find it. It's about an hour and 50 minutes if you're watching the unrated version. Hour and a half if you're watching the director's cut, because Chandrasekhar has said, he's like, no, the shorter version is my version, which is fine. But honestly, for me, the movie does not drag, and I'm really strict about comedies should not be over an hour and a half because it stops being funny. This movie is the exception to that rule, I think. I'm pretty sure there might be a few other comedy movies that go longer. Superbad goes longer. Superbad is an exception. There's a few movies that do go longer. I also like The Wrong Missy. I think The Wrong Missy is also over an hour and a half. But yeah, so there's a lot of comedies that do go over. I just think generally you should be very weary of your running time. But yeah, I really like this movie. I really recommend this movie. This movie is not going to be for everyone. It is a very 2004 Bush era comedy movie. And I always say that. That's something that I say, like, if I'm talking about Chappelle's Show or South Park during those like 6, 7, season, that season. I mean, South Park has always been raunchy, but anyways, Reno 911. There was a lot of shows that came out in the early 2000s, post 9/11, which were very raunchy and very did not care about certain words they used, which are, more PC crowds nowadays are like, you can't say the R word, you can't say the F word, you can't say that word, you can't say that. And this comes in that era where it was just like, they don't really give a shit. And it's just one of those things where you kind of go, they don't make them like that anymore. I really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, I watched it when I was 12. I was happy to see boobs, to see, slasher stuff. The movie was fairly scary too. Also, it's not really intending to be, but there was some stuff you're like, oh, that's scary. But it's really funny. My type of humor. I think it's funny. I don't imagine that most of my subscribers will like it. Particularly, a lot of my subscribers are older than I am, and I don't think you would like it. But check it out if you're at all interested. Like I said, I don't know how many times I can say this. I love this movie. It's one of my favorites. Not one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's just, I love this movie. If somebody brings up Club Dread, I'm in. I'm like, dude, yes. And I just start throwing quotes. Oh my God. I found some people at my work who are Club Dread fans. And now every time I see them, we're just quoting the movie. It's just like, play Margaritaville. I think you mean Pina Colada Berg, the song I wrote 7.5 fucking years before Margaritaville was even on the map. Of course, you wouldn't know that because you weren't even born yet. Oh my God. There's so many great. So that was another reason why I couldn't upload the video, is because more than any other video I've done, I threw in so many clips because there's so many funny lines. There's so many jokes. Oh my God. When the diver is dancing with Penelope, she's got a name tag on her breast that says Penelope, and he's like, oh, that's a beautiful name. And he grabs her boob and he goes, Penelope. And the whole rest of the movie, he calls her Penelope. It's like, it's so dumb, but it always makes me laugh. Always. And also, the reveal is pretty funny. The reveal is pretty good. And what's funny is the killer forgets what their motivation was at first. They start saying what their motive is, and then they're like, wait, no, that's not it. Oh, this is it. Yeah. That was it. That was why. That other thing was still fucked up, but no, it's because of this. And like, that's funny. And then I won't spoil it, but there's a great bit at the end where the killer does not die. It's so fucking funny. It still makes me crack up every single time. They do a Friday the 13th, like OG Friday the 13th style jump scare, and it's so funny. I'm sorry that I'm just being repetitive and saying the same thing, and I'm so sorry that I can't show you too many clips from this movie because Disney will just come after me. But oh my God, please. Yeah, check this movie out. Yeah, that's what the killer looks like. Look at Bill Paxton. But oh my God, Broken Lizards, Club Dread. Can't praise it enough. I'm gonna try and actually do a review with some of my friends. I want to show them this movie, and I want to get them to riff on it as well, to give me their insights. That's all I'll say. I just really wanted to. I was upset that I couldn't get the video out on YouTube. It is on my Patreon. You can watch it on there for free. You don't have to be subscribed to me. You don't have to pay me $1, $3, $5, anything. Just you do have to go onto Patreon. I think you have to make an account and then just follow me for free. But the video is there to watch. Hopefully, I think it's fine. I don't think it should get taken down. And if it does, I'll just upload it again to Patreon. But yeah, it's there. I do have a beginning part of the video for like 7 or 8 minutes where I'm talking as if it's a Giallo movie. Is it a Giallo? Absolutely not. It did decently in the how Giallo is portion of the video, which is interesting. But I mean, if you're a slasher, you're probably going to have a fair amount in common. But no, it's not. I was being... what's the word? I don't know. But I was, for a while, I was being deadpan. Like, no, this is a Giallo. Yeah, it absolutely is. It's the best. I also did a little rant in there, disguised as, you know, the character I was playing as I was talking about it, where I ripped on those people who don't like me in a certain Discord. And that was fun. Anyways, that's all I've got to say. I don't really need to talk too much about this movie, although I could really talk about this movie for a long time. But the funny thing is, it's not a deep movie. It's just nostalgic for me. So I enjoy it for that. So what about you? Have you heard of Club Dread? Have you seen it? What are your thoughts on it? If you haven't seen it, you think you might check it out? No? I understand if you don't see it. I understand if you don't like it. This is one of those things like, there's a lot of stuff that I like. I really liked Skrillex. And when I was in high school, people would be like, I fucking hate Skrillex. I'm like, I get it. I totally get it. Like, but I like it. That's how I feel about Club Dread. Anyways, yeah, so that's that. Thank you for watching this video. If you're new here, welcome. Sorry if you had to look at my face for too long. But yeah, anyways, this is Chandrasekhar for the King and Giallo. And if nothing else, I'll see you next time.
God damn it! Yes! Yes!